national screening of Won't Back Down. We are so excited. We're here in New York City, and we're the moms. I'm Melissa Gerstein.
And I'm Denise Albert. Maggie, we're here to talk about Won't Back Down, which is a really powerful message, and I think any mother can relate to it.
Yeah.
What moved you about being a part of this film?
One of the things my mom said to me when I was growing up was she thinks that one of the greatest gifts you can give your kid is a good education, and it's difficult to do these days. And I think also living in a democracy, if you don't have an educated electorate, I don't know how you can possibly choose who your leaders are going to be. And so even, before I had kids, I was concerned about the educational system, but that, really put it over the edge.
So what's the one thing you want people to walk out of this movie feeling or thinking or saying about it?
That you can be the change. And I think that so many people, we're seeing this in the upcoming election year, that people feeling like there's going to be a whole sector of people who are not going to vote. I mean, I know I did a speech at the NAACP convention just trying to rally people to vote. They don't understand that I don't care how ordinary you think you are, that you have something in you that can shift the world and shift the circumstances in which you live, even just a little bit, that you have the power to do that.
In your own lives, is there something that you would do, or is there something that you take from this film that you think that all mothers and parents need to do in their communities?
Well, I work I work in the education field. I have a non-for-profit, urbanartspartnership.org. So I understand the problem out there in the education system. That's the reason why I agreed to participate in this film. And whatever your point of view, what this film does, it makes you sit up and take notice of a problem that's been a problem for a very, very long time. The education system that we have in America is antiquated, and a change has to come. How that change comes, well, I leave that to the viewers.
There's a moment when your character realizes, you know what, I can do this. It's tangible. I can do this. What do you think is missing in a lot of people out there where they're just so fearful of just going for it and doing it? Where is that in your character that it clicks where I can do this?
I don't think it's missing in a lot of people. I mean, I think it's in everybody. I mean, that was what was most important to me, maybe, about putting into the movie, is like, our characters are flawed, and they're not, they don't identify as political people. They don't think of themselves as radicals or as activists or anything. They're just living their lives and doing the best they can, and that's like all of us. But then that spark that I think is in everybody, that makes you see something and just go, that is wrong, gets lit. And I think that's sort of what you watch happen to them. And that's what I think is inspiring, is because we all have that inside of us. And you sort of watch these two women become activists and heroes. But I don't think it's missing. I think it's there in everybody. It just needs to get lit, yeah.
All I hear is that, teachers expect less of minorities. So for Viola and Rosie, have you experienced that in your life growing up?
I will say this, is teachers were a huge influence in my life, and I love my parents. My mom was an activist, but they were a huge influence because my parents were not. At the end of the day, the parent is the biggest influence in your life, and it's a known fact. When I think that they did a study, it was the most comprehensive study where they finally found out that the reason why a lot of kids who grew up in really, really dire circumstances, when they make their way out, they all have one common factor, that they all had someone in their life that taught them how to master a skill, taught them how to fail, taught them how to persevere, someone who validated them, and at the end of the day, just liked them. That's it. One person. And if you listen to any of the testimonies of anyone who made it out of horrible circumstances, I guarantee you everyone had one person like that. That's the one common thread in the story. So that's you, baby.